the Secretary for the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, on the lineup. We also have the challenges in the Trinidad and space, particularly with the protests.
I tell you, and all of that's happening. But with regards the meeting with the task force, I think this is one of the first times that we're seeing such a conglomerate, such a collaboration. Ever, I think, in the history of the Division of Health and Wellness. So I am hopeful. I think we are all hopeful, you know, for things to come. I'm
looking forward to hearing from the Secretary on this. So as we continue with the rundown this morning, second on the lineup, we'll be chatting again with Umar Abdullah, and he's the head of the First Wave movement regarding the protesters versus the police, giving us a sense of, from his perspective, what took place. And who else do we have on the lineup this morning?
Well, coming up just after, we will be chatting with Radhika Connell, and Radhika is the president of Youth Transcending Boundaries, or YTB, and we'll be chatting about plans for 2022 and YTB and we'll be hearing from them as well on their mandate, on the mandated or mandatory vaccination. And closing us off on the program this morning, Cindy Braffett, the director of Pathway to Health, will be chatting with us on the healing wonder of exercise.
Yes, so we look forward to that on our rundown here this morning. Ria, we also heard in our Caribbean space there might be some challenges coming from the opposition entity in Barbados for the election that is carded for tomorrow, Wednesday, the 19th of January, in terms of trying to ensure that there's a deferral of those elections. We'll see what the outcome of that is today, and if need be, we might need to connect very early in the morning with our correspondents and persons out there to see what's happening in Barbados in particular. Interesting developments within our region at large. We go to birthdays this morning very quickly. All right, I think we should have an image up for birthdays this morning. So this morning we're shouting out a particular young man that's celebrating his 10th birthday. And we want to say birthday greetings going out to Demari Moore this morning. Demari, I hope you are up in time, or perhaps you're going to have to see the live after. But Demari, good morning to you, and happy birthday. Coming from Ria or Aliyah Holder and the entire family, showing you that love and support, and I dare say the attention as well. I know Demari likes his attention, so good morning and happy birthday to you, Demari.
All right. So, Julian, as we said, quite an interesting morning, and we head over to things, yes?
All right. So this morning, as we go into our lineup in the first segment, we'll be chatting with Dr. Faith B. Israel, and I think we should have her on the line already. Dr. Faith, good morning.
Hi, good morning, good morning. How are you all this morning?
Fine, thank you. And how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, you know, can't complain at all.
Excellent. So as we start this morning, you know, we have to maximize time with you because of the amount of areas that you usually have to cover. We go straight into the COVID task force. And as Ria would have just highlighted in our opening statements, we are seeing what is an expansion in terms of the level of representation. Give us a sense of this move and what kind of, you know, some of the areas that you've expanded to in terms of the COVID task force.
Certainly. Well, we realize, I think all of us have realized that COVID is affecting every single one of us. It's not just affecting the medical field. So what we decided to do was work with the entire group of Tobago, really. We tried to find the widest range of individuals who could come to the table, be part of the discussion, be part of identifying what is working for them, what is not working for them, and be part of identifying how we can roll out our COVID response a little better. So that is where we are. That is why we had that very wide range yesterday. As a matter of fact, even in the meeting, we asked for, you know, if there were other people or other sectors who they thought should have been included, and we will include them in upcoming meetings.
Noteworthy is the inclusion of the Minority Council within the task force. What was the motivation behind that?
Well, this is all Tobago. All of Tobago is dealing with COVID-19. And I did understand that he had been asking for meetings and so forth. And even before that, when we were planning the COVID task force, it was always to be included. Although the minority leader did not attend the meeting, he sent a representative to speak on his behalf yesterday. But we are happy that everyone is a part of this and everybody feels welcome to be a part of these discussions.
Now, Dr. Faith, we understand that it may be, some may say that it's still early in the game for the PDP. In terms of the fight against COVID-19, there are some concerns with regards when persons come over to the health facilities with flu-like symptoms. Give us an idea this morning of what is the next step. So I come in, I am sniffling, I think I may have, or I'm just sniffling. Where do I go? Where should I go? Because there's some questions about who's sniffling, who's testing positive, who may be suspected to have COVID-19, everybody under the same tent. So give us an idea
Yeah.
of what should be happening with, as opposed to what is actually happening.
So what you recognize is that we still do not have a parallel healthcare system, because when individuals come into up to the hospital, they still have to do a triaging, and in essence, that is what's happening at the tent, where they are checking to see, do you have COVID or not, before letting you into the hospital, or before letting you into different parts of the hospital, depending on what the answer is. We've recognized that that is an issue, and we are actually actively working on resolving that, ensuring that we have more of a parallel system. We are still working it out with the stakeholders, so I don't want to make that announcement just yet. You know, remember, since last week, Assemblyman Farley, Chief Sec Farley, spoke about having this big announcement that we will make. We will make it soon, but we just want to make sure that we cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's. And one of the things that we need to also do is ramp up our testing, and to get people tested quicker, and that would also be coming on stream very, very shortly, where we get more people to get tested. Another thing that we recognized that needed to happen was that we needed to have more people doing the calling, the contact tracing, the following up, the saying, hey, how are you going? That is rolling out also very, very soon. We would recognize that we have actually come into a situation where we, and I don't want to sound political, but we kind of had to clean up a little bit of stuff, um, and then find money to do what we need to do. And that, in essence, is what we spent the last month doing. So you would recognize that we are getting new imagery coming out of the division. We are getting new videos coming out of the division with the TRHA. It's all of the things that are coming together. We just can't snap our fingers and do it just like that. I wish we could, but we can't do it like that. But we're doing all of the background work to ensure that it works the way that it should.
Dr. Faith, we saw the announcement with Dr. Nathaniel Duke, and as I mentioned in an interview prior, warmly welcomed by Tobago in terms of returning our son of the soil, and he was identified as Medical Chief of Staff for the Roxborough Hospital. Can you give us an update in relation to progress regarding the operationalization? I'm not talking about a fancy opening here, the operationalization of the Roxborough Hospital.
I promise you there will be no fancy key handing over, key opening, key. That will not happen with me. But yes, Dr. Duke was actually hired to be the medical chief of staff for the new Roxborough Hospital, which has not been commissioned yet and it has not opened yet. And that is actually happening. But because I knew that Dr. Duke was an infection disease specialist, one of probably the only one on the island right now, I reached out to him as soon as I realized he was on the island, and asked him to help me really work through what we are doing now to figure out how we can improve on that. So right now he has actually been doing double duty since he's been back. He's been working on commissioning the hospital, which is why he was hired, but we also have been working really, really hard on getting the COVID situation in a better position. And that would include building out the parallel healthcare system and so forth, which we will be announcing soon.
Are you in a position this morning, Dr. Yisrael, to give us an update on the COVID-19 vaccination drive?
So yes, I would have to pull that up. So the reality is that we are at about 44, 45% of our initial target, heading to our initial target, where we have right now about 23,000, a little bit more than 23,000 people who are fully vaccinated on the island. Of course, we need that to go up. There are 60,000 of us, and we want as many of us as possible to get there. But again, that's one of the reasons we started having the larger COVID task force, because we wanted to hear from people. What really is the issue? Why aren't you picking up the vaccine? What's happening in your specific sector that we need to focus on to help us fix this issue, to help us answer the questions. The reality is we still have a lot of people who are deadly afraid. They are afraid that if they take the vaccine, they are going to die. And we are working out different avenues of reaching those people, trying to find out what exactly is their concern and addressing those concerns specifically. We are not going to be using the whole, you must do this or else kind of mechanism, because I don't think that would work. Somebody who's forced to do something against their will, I don't think that's the best thing for their mental health or even their physical health. So we are trying to really talk with people, get people to the point of saying, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I agree this is what is best for me, because we really have all of the correct information.
Dr. Faith, you've been within the system, I think it's probably just about a month or so now, in terms of a few weeks in office. We have heard the constant complaints that we hear about challenges within the operations of the system. And some, even within the system at the junior level, say the heads don't ever want to deal with the other heads, which might be a fundamental part of the challenge in managing the system and the overall leadership and guidance. Are you prepared to make those tough decisions?
Yes, we are prepared to make those tough decisions, and this is for all of my counterparts, all of my colleagues in the Executive Council. One of the things I've actually said in many of the meetings that I've had within my division and even outside of the division is that we kind of have to, let's try to forget what was happening before. Think of this as day one. Yes, we know this is what happened before, and this is what was said, and this is how people behaved, but we now have an opportunity to start over. We have an opportunity to hit the reset button and to start over, and that is what I am willing to do with everybody, with all parties. So yes, we have difficult personalities, but that's part of life. It would be boring if we didn't have difficult personalities or interesting personalities to deal with, but we are willing to do the hard work to get it done.
Okay, well, thank you.
Dr. Faith, closing question as we wrap, and this goes back to one of your social media posts. How much closer are we to the parallel healthcare system where those lines do not touch?
we are very, very close. Give us another couple of weeks. We are much closer to those, where the lines don't touch. Let me say very quickly though, before we jump out, that one of the things we announced yesterday was us using our physiotherapy department within the TRHA to teach people who are home with COVID, how to breathe, how to do breathing exercises to help them recover from COVID. So if you go to the division's website, the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, you will see one of those videos. We released it yesterday. We will be releasing the others shortly, and that is for those who are home, who are having issues trying to breathe. We're helping you. Just follow the instructions. Our physiotherapists are amazing people. They know what they're doing, and we're providing this to you in the comfort of your home.
Okay, well, thank you so much for chatting with us. We know that it's a busy morning for you this morning, Dr. Israel, so we appreciate your time and your information this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much again. Viewers, we've just heard there from Dr. Faith B. Israel, Secretary for the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. And if we are to gauge any at all from the feedback on the live, there's really a general sense of asking to give Dr. Faith a chance. Give her a chance to be able to, to rule out and so on. I particularly, one comment stands out for me, Doniel Vincent, extreme fitness, one of our outstanding young persons here in the field. People have to be patient when getting tested. I'm currently in New York, COVID locations, like urgent care open at 8 a.m. and people standing in lines in the cold from 5 a.m. just to get tested. So Tobagonians, please give Dr. Faith some time to get things rolling. And it's an interesting experience making that connection with what's happening out there. We're not saying that we want to see people in lines here.
No.
But of course, we are saying these are scenarios and situations that we want to see us work around and be able to make things better in our healthcare system.
Definitely, Julian, and they brave the weather to get what they need to get. All right, we don't have to put on 6, 7, 8 layers of clothing to stand in the cold to to access these facilities. So rightly so, give them some time. It's just been what? Almost 2 months?
Yeah,
just about 2 months, you know. They've barely gotten their feet wet, so.
All right. So viewers, coming up in the next interview that we'll have on the lineup this morning, we can look forward to chatting with Umar Abdullah, head of the First Wave Movement. We want to continue to thank all of you for the love and support and to encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Good morning, good morning, put a smile on your...
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back. It's 7:20 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you live here from the Port Mall in Scarborough. And we're happy to inform you as well that you can also now connect with us online via our website, tobagoupdates.com. That's tobagoupdates.com. So you have another option to follow our live stream. And we want to remind you to also connect with us via our YouTube channel at Tobago Updates. So we look forward to all of you connecting with us online, tobagoupdates.com, Tobago Updates YouTube channel. Those of you that continue to join us on social media, Facebook, as well as those of you joining us via Gael and M&ETV. We're creating more options for you. You must have no choice, and in fact, you must have every opportunity to tune into Tobago Updates, no matter where you are in the world.
All right, so coming up at this time, viewers, we have on the line this morning Mr. Umar Abdullah. And Umar Abdullah, hi, good morning to you. Umar Abdullah is the head of the First Wave Movement, and he's on the program this morning to chat with us on the protest versus police and what really happened, because he was there. Good morning and welcome to you this morning, Umar Abdullah.
Yes, greetings. How are you? Nice for having me. Thanks.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the program once again. Umar, how did you get yourself involved in this movement? And this is the pushback too, and this is all in keeping with the public pushing back against the government's mandatory vaccination drive. How did you get yourself involved in this?
Well, we would have over the past couple of weeks, we've been having meetings with a number of other like groups, trying to figure out on how it is we can, get government's attention to listen to the people and to understand what is happening on the ground. And we would have joined together with the ground report, who was behind that pushback event on November the 30th, where we also was there, part of that planning committee and so on. And so people have been asking for pushback too. We did respond to the people, and we had decided that, the decision was made to first choose the Maracas Beach facility as the venue. But on that decision, a number of persons would have come forward and expressed their dissatisfaction with that location, and so the location was changed to the Queen's Park Savannah. Permission was granted for that location at Maracas, but at the 11th hour, when the decision was made to change the venue to the Queen's Park Savannah, I would have written to the acting commissioner of police, requesting police support for the event at the Queen's Park Savannah. And when I wrote him, I also sent a copy of that letter to the acting superintendent, Kisunlal. And the email that I sent to the commissioner, the acting commissioner, bounced back. So in my correspondence with Mr. Kisunlal, because I have him, on WhatsApp, I told him what had happened, and I asked him, if it is possible for him to get that letter and to ensure that the acting commissioner of police gets that letter. He told me that he can't do that. That was a kind of surprise to me, because we are in the communication age, and getting information to someone, you are a police officer, a very high-ranking police officer, and I would suppose that you would have some connection to the commissioner of police. So after that, I asked him, at least send me an email that would actually work. And he never responded to that message. I never got an email that would actually work. And so, based on my past experience, where what I would have written for police support for my events, no communication was received from the commissioner's office. No phone calls, no letters, no nothing at all. But on the day of the event, we had the police support. They were there, and they came and they supported the event and so on. So I automatically guessed that this would have been the same situation in this case, and only to find out that when they came, they told us that we had no permission and we had to shut down the event.
Tell us, there were, I think my information is that 12 of you all were brought in by the police, etc. However, you were the only person charged under the circumstance. Just give us a little more information on that.
Yes, I was the only person charged. However, those persons who were released, those charges are pending the decision of the TTPS, and those persons, if a decision is made to charge, they will be charged via summons.
That this is a direct attempt or an indication, rather, as the head of the movement, the person leading this initiative without the requisite approval, to kind of give an indication. Let's make an example of you.
Well, I wouldn't say that. We have always maintained good relations with the TTPS. And all the officers in the TTPS understands, what we're about, and why the pushback and what have you. Remember, a large cross section of the TTPS, they themselves have not gotten these injections, and apart from that, it's just not the injections alone. It's more than what is being advertised or what is being reported. There are a number of issues as regards to the healthcare system in Trinidad and Tobago. There's also the issue of, government high ruling measures in the parliament that without consultations with the people, for instance, when Section 43 of the Data Protection Act was proclaimed, the only section that was proclaimed which gave government the ultimate right to go into any institution and access the medical records of anyone. When this legislation was passed in Parliament, it required a simple majority because of Section 53, which protected every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And that Section 53 indicated that persons cannot ask or access the records of any individual except by by those persons voluntarily given that information or by an order of the court. But that section was not proclaimed. The only section that was proclaimed was Section 43. And that took place when the president was on holidays. Christine Kangaloo was acting president at the time, did that when the president was on holidays and when Parliament was in a recess. So we can just imagine the breaches of our own laws here in this country that have been taking place under this present administration. So it's just not, people are against the vaccines. It's not just that. It's every single thing under the sun in Trinidad and Tobago. And all those persons there on the savannah on that day, every one of them had different concerns.
Is it safe to say, based on the concerns raised there specific to law, that's also one of the reasons why we have seen not only the chanting and the concerns in relation to the vaccination itself, but also a call for Dr. Rowley must go?
Yes. It has been quite clear that if I were to ask the question now to any citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, when was the last time you recognized democracy in this country? You'd hardly find anybody to give you an answer. Well, the last time I recognized democracy was then, and this day and that day or the other. We have seen clearly where our democracy has failed us. No longer can we see the examples of our national anthem in our parliament, in the country, in the cities, in our country, in the countryside, in the villages that we live. No longer can we see what that national flag represents. The coat of arms. Together we aspire, together we achieve. These things are no longer relevant in our country, and this is why there is a call for this government to recognize that they no longer have the support of the majority of the people. They have seen what happened in Tobago. They were rejected in Tobago, and they are also being rejected in Trinidad. All the different groupings, the trade unions, civil society, they are all sounding an alarm that they are dissatisfied with government's leadership and government's rule. And by that, I must say, every single government that is in power, and the democratic society is in power because of the support of the people. If you do not have the support of the people, you are an illegitimate government, and you need to read the writing on the wall. You need to let's go back to the polls. Let's what happened in November the 30th, what happened last day in the Queen's Park Savannah was a referendum that this government should see, right? Rather than speak about all the other issues, sending the police to use tear gas on the law-abiding citizens. As you can see from all the videos, there were no violence coming from the people, none whatsoever. No indiscipline.
Umar Abdullah,
walking around.
Mr. Abdullah, I'm glad that you raised that point. The use of tear gas, and in some cases, some persons were manhandled by police officers, physically manhandled by police officers. Do you think this was necessary? Was it overdone? Was it an overkill? What were your thoughts on that?
It was definitely unnecessary. As a matter of fact, when I and Superintendent Kisun Lal was having that conversation, I indicated to him, I said, how do you expect the thousands of people that was there, how do you expect that, you know, I could just tell these people to go back home. These people are frustrated. These people are tired. They're hurting. They have lost loved ones. They're suffering pain. And these people have come to express to this government that they are dissatisfied. And this government needs to see the numbers of persons that is dissatisfied in their leadership, in their policies. How can we do that? Allow me to, you know, to invite these persons to follow, you know, us with the flag around the savannah, at least make a 1-2 laps, and we would be able to disseminate these people and get them back to their homes and so on in a peaceful manner. All right. He himself would have taken the mic and told those persons to follow myself and Robert Amar around the Queen's Park Savannah with that flag. When we started to do that, marked police vehicles started to follow us around the savannah, escort us around the savannah. And even at one point in time, police officers from the St. Clair police station would have stopped and asked me questions regarding how long do I tend to walk around the savannah. I told them at least 2 laps. We're trying to get the people back home to their homes, you know, peacefully and so on. At least they're going to be satisfied that they came and they engaged in an activity, in a process to indicate to government that they are dissatisfied. So they took the information down. I told them max 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. And so I went around the savannah twice. And on the 3rd occasion, when I came back around, there was a church group that was singing hymns and singing praises and so on. And I got hold of the pastor and I told him, I said, look, let's get these people out of the savannah. Let them sing and let them sing their praises, but let them follow me around the savannah. There were a number of other persons that would have arrived after, and they were in the savannah. They're standing around, you know, chit-chatting and what have you, and so on and so forth. And then, you know, when we took the church group and we began going around the savannah again, a little while after, a police vehicle came with 3 police officers, indicated to me that they are indeed sorry to do this, but they have to take me away from the location and take me to the St. Clair police station where I will be detained. So I willingly went, and I gave my flag to one of my other members, and I was in police custody when the tear gas and so on was used. What I understand, based on information coming to me from my members, was that when the people started to chant, Rowley must go, Rowley must go, Rowley must go, that is when the tear gas was used. The police would have claimed that missiles were thrown at them. We have eyewitness account that no missile was thrown at the police at that point in time. That in fact was the missile. When people started to chant, Rowley must go, that in fact was the missile.
Mr. Abdullah, very quickly here. It is reported that while police officers had asked the crowds to disperse, that yourself and Robert Amar instructed the people to follow you. Was that the case?
No, it was not an instruction. It was a conversation that I had, and these police have to be more truthful and sincere in their reporting. All right, that is not correct. Officer Kisunlal, the superintendent, also took the mic and he indicated to the people, follow Omar Abdullah and Amar out of the savannah and with the flag. If that was in fact true, why did the marked police vehicles come and started to escort us? Why did that happen? Why did that happen? Right? Okay. That is being dishonest. And the police officers have been very dishonest in what it is they're reporting.
All right, so thank you very much there for the clarity, Mr. Omar Abdullah, head of the First Wave Movement. But we got to leave it there this morning in that segment. And we really look forward to the follow-up coming up in terms of what's next for the First Wave Movement in really taking this position based on the government stance at this moment in terms of promoting vaccination among the entire population.
No, Julian, I remember just a few years ago, Umar Abdullah was I would say limited to Tobago because the movement was throughout Tobago. He started as a one-man, what you might call a one-man show until, he started getting the message out and it spread throughout Tobago. And then, within recent years, we saw where he has now taken the movement to Trinidad and, hosting or holding protests based on, I guess, different situations that would arise within the public sphere and pushing for change, pushing for answers. I would say pushing more so for answers from the government with regards to different situations in the public domain.
All right, and this morning we also want to connect and highlight. We see on the live there this morning, Teresa, Kuki, Donil, Joanne, Hugh, Wendian, Kashif, Shala, Ramsey, Roberts. We want to say morning, Unika Mars, morning, Lisel James, Joel Tate, that's my cousin out there, Joelski, joining us on the live. Latoya Anderson, I haven't been seeing Latoya Anderson, so I was calling out Latoya Anderson this morning, looking out for you on the live. We see Cassie is also on the live with us this morning, Gregory Thomas, Gail Lashley. We want to thank all of you for the continued love and support. And at this point, we remind you that you can connect with us on tobagoupdates.com. A reminder to advertise with us. You can also communicate with us at 284-6597. That's 284-6597 or info@tobagoupdates.com or sales@tobagoupdates.com. We want to remind you, continue to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards.
Welcome to Tobago Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms
as remains. When
the public is
nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearsides Marine Industry.
Tobago fishermen.
When will the
Sion Francis
hospital
be fully functional?
Of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window at the islands,
treasures like the Golden
continue
Waterfall
to rise in Tobago.
John Boy, I got a call and they're asking me to talk to the nation, talk to people and tell them about getting vaccinated. Yeah. I'm not sure if I should or if it's the right thing for me to tell someone to get vaccinated.
Yeah, but you just came out from Tobago.
Yeah, and 3 of my friends passed. And that's when I realized, I really need to say something.
Similarly here, I have an insulin-dependent son, and so I had to get all my kids vaccinated. I didn't have a choice.
I made the choice because of my parents. But the question is, what or who do you love more than yourself for you to make the choice to protect yourself or protect them from you?
Trouble again! Trinidad and Tobago, let's stop the spread of COVID-19.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good
Good morning, viewers. It's 7:41 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show. We're coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, and we're excited to announce that yes, you can also connect with us on tobagoupdates.com via our website. That's tobagoupdates.com, and we also encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tobago Updates. Remember to check it out. Those of you connecting with us online, Ria, we have some birthday greetings to also send out in the mix. Just in, Ria. What are we shouting out this morning?
We
birthday greetings going out to Debbie John. That's Debbie John and Shesden Solomon. We're sending you birthday greetings from the Tobago Updates family here this morning. Folks, you know it's always energy on the Tobago Updates set, and sometimes we have these things set just to make sure that you have a great morning with us. We're not perfect, but we love the energy here. Ria, you okay now?
I am. I actually thought that you were going to do that one. I'm so sorry. I actually thought that you were going to do that one. So I'm just a little thrown when you threw it my way. So
all right.
My apologies.
And Ria, I think it's nice. We see Newton George. Remember Newton from last Friday, joining us on the live. Good morning. Good morning to you, Newton George, for tuning in to the live here with us this morning. And we also see Ria Orr. Good morning to Ria Orr.
Good morning.
Joining us on the live this morning. Folks, in this segment, we are happy to be chatting with Radhika Connell, President of Youth Transcending Boundaries, and speaking to plans for 2022. Ria, I had the privilege of interacting with Youth Assemblyman through the Tobago Youth Assembly Program 2020-2021, Adriel Wheeler. Exceptional and outstanding young man there within the Tobago space. And over the course of the weekend, after a number of years, after a number of months, that is, in terms of weeks, Adriel would have been able to... It feels like years. He would have been able to successfully assist and lead the way, I should say, in terms of ensuring that this youth organization came off the ground. And so this morning, we're really happy to be chatting with Radhika Connell, President of Youth Transcending Boundaries. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, how are you all?
Doing fine, thank you. So, I'm going to throw the question in your court just as I asked Adriel as well when we spoke over the course of the weekend. When you are able to gather the attention of all the heavy rulers within the Tobago space to make it to Speyside, the Chief Secretary, the Honorable Farley Augustine, the Honorable Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Yana Webster Roy, Presiding Officer, Abby Taylor, and the list goes on. Tell us, are you ready to rumble? What can people expect from Youth Transcending Boundaries?
Well, Julian, a lot is coming, right? Actually, our first fundraiser is going to be for Valentine's Day. So, guys, look out for that. Stay tuned. You'll see our post very soon, right? I was happy and, delighted to see all those big heavy rollers, as you say, came to support us. It was really, really nice. As we mentioned before, many have tried organizations in Speyside and it did not work, but Adriel vibes and consistencies and determination definitely bring this to life. And as a 16-year-old, to be exact, and a young man from Speyside, young men have been shining lately. Yeah, we on a road to make a difference. And we are starting with our village of Speyside and then moving on to the environs and then Tobago as a whole. Another thing that we plan on doing actually is, hold on 1 minute.
The time to pray. That's the alarm for time to pray.
That's okay, man. Think of it as Adriel reminding you of something to do to get the organization going. Carry on.
Right. On education, we are big on promoting education. And one of the things that we want to start doing is literacy program. During the pandemic, we recognized that many youths have been challenged with reading. Some are having problems with just simply being online and staying focused. And what we want to do is start literacy. And as you all will know, when you hear Adriel speak, He's very articulated, he's very educated, and he has this vibrancy when it comes to presenting. And we want other persons in the village of Speyside to see that and see him as a role model and actually see that they can do it too, right? So another program that we really want to push is our literacy program. And then, a matter of fact, because we now started this week actually, we already got invitation to partner with Charleville Police Youth Club. So there's an activity that coming up soon, and we are already getting involved with that as well too. So you all will see us as time goes by. We have to sit down more and plan out exactly what we want to do. As our chief secretary reminded us of the importance of organization. So we are taking that very seriously, and you all will hear from us as time goes by.
Okay, so can you give us an idea this morning of how many young persons would be involved in this? How many young persons are involved in the YTB?
So far, in terms of our executive, we have like 5 or 6 of us. However, in terms of our general body, we are already over 50. And that is in itself is the persons who were initially behind the scenes with us, not in the executive, but persons who were actively involved. And since we launched on Sunday, there are many persons that have been asking to join us. So yes, over the couple of weeks coming, I know we will have those persons more active. And yes, look out on our social media pages. We are going to be shining. And I know that we hear this a lot when it comes to youth groups. You know, we start off hot and sweaty, and then no. This not about YTV. We going to continue doing our work because we are very passionate about empowering youths, and we need to not disappoint.
Okay, Radhika, is YTB exclusive to only youths from Speyside?
No, we are also, because we say environs, it includes lands for me, Palatavere, his constituency more or less, Charlottesville, and piece of Dallafort. So that is what we consider as environs.
Hello?
And then we will plan outside.
Radhika, you said piece of Dallafort. Which piece? Is it the lower piece?
I think she was defining the electoral district.
Okay.
I think you know exactly which piece, and I'm not I believe part of your part is that piece.
Because you know Rhea falls within the age group. So tell us about the age group to be involved. The age group to get involved in the youth transcending boundaries.
10 to 35. And you know we have the young at heart too, right? So the young at heart could be part, you know? The young at heart, that part, you can be involved as well too.
I want you to tell us just before we wrap up this interview, because I think his story is so inspirational. You have about 1 minute, 60 seconds. Give us that journey with Adriel Wheeler, even at times where he doubted himself that this could become a reality.
Well, as you know, well, people don't know, I have been the voice behind Adriel for a very long time. Even when he was part of the Youth Assemblyman, all his speeches, I've been that person rooting for him behind the scenes all the time. I continuously motivate him. I tell him, don't give up. So I'm always that, hello boy, we gonna make it. Don't worry about that. Adriel, relax, stay calm. I keep reminding him to relax and stay calm. So we're gonna make it. I believe in our young people, and I believe in empowering and motivate them, and that is what I am about, right? As a mother myself, I see the importance of pushing our young people and giving them that sense of empowerment that they can do it, and there is no excuses, no barriers. Like we mentioned, we are breaking barriers and building a better tomorrow. That is what YTV is all about.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much, dear Radhika Connell.
Thank
and we
you
want
all
to
so
say
much.
commendations again to
Thank
your
you.
founder, Adriel Wheeler, and I know he's on the
Yes.
live tuned in and
Thank
probably
you so
making
much,
several
Adriel.
comments as he watches on at this interview. And we want to thank you as president and the entire team out there. And we really look forward to hearing great things coming out from a YTB there out of Speyside. Thank you very much again.
Thank you all
And
so
Julian,
much.
I need to plug in
Bye.
here that Adriel is a product of the Signal Hill Government Primary School. Signal Hill Government Primary School. Okay, so I've known him for a number of years. He was in the same class with my last daughter. So I saw him grow into the product that you see before you today. So congratulations to you again,
And
Adriel.
I know it's safe to say sending out congratulations on behalf of the entire Tobago Youth Assembly, and in particular the planning committee and the team out there, the Tobago Youth Assembly, really commending Adriel Wheeler on this move. Ria, when a program like that is executed, you're always looking for ways and means, and I want to assure you, persons like Jisha DeGans, Johnny Campbell, and the entire team, they continue to find avenues to continue youth development work. And we really want to commend Adriel and all others this morning, because this is the essence of really transcending those boundaries to encourage our young people to continue to do great things. Ria, no matter what, young people know I believe in them. No matter what.
I know.
And even when they do something wrong, I will deal with you privately, but I believe in you. I believe in you no matter the circumstance or situation, because very often adults and those senior ones in society tend to chastise. But don't forget, you were once young and you made similar or even worse mistakes before coming to that good place that you are today. So I really want to encourage us as an island to continue to believe in our young people, show them that support, and even when they make mistakes, you don't have to embarrass them publicly. Deal with them privately, help to guide and support them, but don't ever give up on our young people, because that's ultimately how we're going to move forward as a nation in terms of the youth taking up that responsibility. Ria, are you familiar with the name Eamon Parker?
I am.
Eamon Parker celebrates a birthday today, Ria. And we want to send a birthday shout out to Eamon Parker. And Eamon, that's coming from your neighbor as well. You might have to figure out which neighbor, Delia. All right? So happy birthday going out to Eamon Parker. Tuned in here to Tobago Updates.
Julian, Eamon Parker's mother is Mother Parker, who celebrated her 100th birthday just about a week or so ago.
Yes.
All right, and he was also my neighbor, Tranquility Heights. Good morning to you, Mr. Parker.
All right. So we want to thank all of you for continuing to tune in to the Tobago Updates. Folks, we're moving straight into our next segment here this morning. And this morning we are chatting with Cindy Brathwaite, and Cindy is the Director of Pathway to Health. Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning, and it's Candy Brathwaite.
Oh, it's Candy Brathwaite.
I thought something seemed a little bit off with that name, because I said maybe there's another Cindy that we don't know of. Maybe there's a Cindy Brathwaite that we don't know, but I knew something sounded a little bit off with the name. Hi, Candy, how are you doing?
So, Candy, as we start off this morning, we want to ask you, give us a sense of Pathway to Health. What is this organization about?
Okay, so Pathway to Health is an institution where we focus mainly on education, health education, educating persons, children, the communities, churches, on how they can live healthier lives. And we use different methods. However, our methods is mainly natural remedies, because we believe that those are the ones that work best with our bodies. And the Creator God, He made everything, then He made man. So we are following in His footsteps, and we are utilizing the natural things to bring about healing in our bodies.
Candy, the last time you were on our program, and most of the times that you're on our program, you're talking about the way we eat, cutting some things out of our diet and introducing more of other stuff into the diet. Now, this morning we're focused on exercise, the wonder of exercise. So, for those persons who are not very active out there, how small can they start? I mean, it's the start of a new year. Everybody wants to lose a little weight. Everybody wants to look good. Some people are looking forward to jumping up, I guess, in their backyards for carnival or no carnival. But how can they start if they're if they've lived a very inactive lifestyle?
Well, Ria, I have realized that there are various forms of exercising. But one that I find is most effective is walking. And we have realized that walking, it's free. You can choose your own pace. It actually assists you to use most of your bones and your muscles. It burns calories. There's so much benefit to walking. I would like to recommend walking to persons, and you can start walking at least 30 minutes for at least 4 to 5 days a week, and you would get a lot of results by just walking.
Okay.
Candy, tell us, some people make the point, and we were chatting with a doctor recently as well, I exercise naturally because of the amount of walking I do up and down my stairs, in and around my yard. That's my exercise. If it forms part of my standard routine and my daily living, is it still, or rather, is it sufficient exercise?
Well, I would like to say not really, because exercising, the brain knows exactly when you are exercising, and the body releases some chemicals, some hormones, endorphins. And when you're working, the brain is in a different place to when you're exercising. We usually enjoy exercise, like going to the park and going for a walk and going to the gym. It's totally different. So if you're working in your garden, you're a carpenter, your work requires a lot of physical activity, it's still different. It's strenuous. You don't release endorphins when you're working, but you do when you're exercising.
Okay. Now, with persons who are doing the exercise, are there things that they should be mindful of with regards to exercise? Do we just get up one day and say, look, I'm going to start exercising? You said that walking is free, but what should we be mindful of before we start exercising?
Right. So, I mean, if you're terminally ill, you have a lifestyle disease, it's recommended that you seek guidance from your doctor. And after you would have gotten clearance, if you are young and fit and healthy, real, you know, like we are, you can just put on your sneakers, a good, comfortable sneakers. The sneakers should be comfortable. You wear proper clothing. I would suggest nothing that is too tight to constrict the breathing area, the diaphragm area. You know, we women, well, not me, but a lot of women like to wear stuff that actually constricts them. Some. So we shouldn't, when you're exercising, because it requires a lot of breathing, it's recommended that the clothes should be very comfortable. Shoes should be comfortable, and go with a good mind. And there's so much benefits to exercising, Rhea. We have realized that exercising makes you feel good. And I personally can attest to this, because if you are in a bad mood and you leave and you go and take a good exercise, when you return, you feel better. All right, and we have realized that it fights depression, anxiety, and stress. It increases your energy level. It helps us to reach and maintain a proper weight. I remember in 2020, when the COVID-19 just started, a lot of persons just being home and eating, and the school children, they were putting on weight. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to exercise. And while persons were putting on weight, I was actually losing, and I felt so good, because every morning I would awake at 5 and go and take a long walk, and it really, really felt nice. It enhances circulation. You know, the great Hippocrates said, for perfect health, you need pure blood and perfect circulation. Circulation is important for our health. And when we exercise, we get good circulation. The blood moves. It also stimulates the lymphatic system. And I like to say, exercising is the only mechanism by which the lymphatic system is stimulated. Now, when the lymphatic system is stimulated, what does that do? It boosts the immune system. It prevents against cancer. And even if you do have cancer, what it does, it eradicates the toxins, the toxicity that's in the lymphatic system. So exercise is very important, and it boosts the immune system. And right, Rhea, and I don't know the gentleman's name, but the time that we are living in, we all need our immune system to be boosted. So exercise.
Thank you so much, Candy. And we've got to leave it there this morning in the interest of time. So we want to thank you very much for joining us on set here at the Tobago Updates Morning Show.
Thank you so much. We should have gotten a contact for Candy there, but maybe next time around. Next time around. But we want to thank our viewers so much for joining us today. Very quickly, Julian, I know you've got some messages coming in there that you wanted to share.
Yes, Rhea, and one is coming from our viewers this morning. I'll take Tanessa Lawrence's comment. You look stunning today, Rhea Richardson George.
Thank you.
All right. And folks, you are not seeing the full outfit, but just enough to know that Rhea is indeed stunning today and outstanding. You know, let's just leave it there for now. Rhea?
Julian, one of these days, you and I, one of these days, viewers, one of these days. But thank you so much, Vanessa.
On the live as we wrap this morning, Assemblyman Megan Morrison, thank you for joining in.
Good morning
Stanley,
to you.
morning. Carol Fraser Davidson says, shout outs to Adriel's mother, Rhonda Davidson. We want to shout out as well Rhonda Davidson this morning, continuing to inspire and support Adriel Wheeler, Rhonda Davidson and his entire family out there in Speyside.
All right. So I guess we can leave it there for today, but we want to thank our viewers so much for joining us. Always a beautiful morning to spend with Tobago Updates. We're really happy that you were able to join us here.
And quickly shout to two of my friends and colleagues here in Tobago. They've been enjoying the Tobago space. I think I have to make them honorary Tobagonians because they're spending much time here as they do in Trinidad now. Adrian and Tioka, good morning. Good morning, and we trust that you continue to enjoy and safe journey back to Trinidad.
All right. Uncle Ray and Auntie Liz always watching the show. Good morning. Uncle Ray, I trust that you're having a great day today and love from the entire family. Have a great day, Tobago. We will see you tomorrow. Remember to wear your mask, sanitize, and socially distance. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And look at me face to face. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.